Alright guys, what's up? So I wanted to do a little different of a video today. So these are the 13 unique cubes that I have. I'm going to run through each one in a sec. But I kind of wanted to do a gauntlet run of these and just kind of do them all in one go. I guess my times, so I'll throw those up as I do it. But yeah, I'm basically just going to speed up each of the solves. I'll probably do a voiceover of what was going through my mind or whatnot during the solves. But yeah, let's get into it. So these first three here, if you can see, this is the square series, so square 0, square 1, square 2. So that'll be the first three. Then we have the n by n series that is just 2 by 2, 3 by 3, and 4 by 4. And then just kind of going over here, this here is the Mega Minx, so I kind of put that in the n by n category or whatnot, just somewhat. We have the Fisher Cube. These next ones are all going to be shapeshifters, so everything over here, we have the Master Morphix, which I just got recently, the Fisher Cube, the Ghost Cube, the Mirror Cube, the Hedgehog, and then this is the Curvy Copter Plus. So these are the 13 unique cubes that I have. Let's scramble them up and then I'll kind of break down what I'm going to do. Alright, so I got everything scrambled up. Alright, let's get started. Alright, so I put these in the order that I'm going to go in. I'm going to go this way to get some of the harder ones out of the way. This Curvy Copter Plus is probably the hardest one I own by far. So I'm going to start with that, and I'm going to do the breakdown of how I'm going to be filming them. So I'm going to film the Curvy Copter Plus individually, I'm going to film the Hedgehog individually, the Ghost Cube individually. I'm probably going to do all these individually. Yeah, all these individually up to the Mega Minx, including the Mega Minx and the 4x4. And then I might combine the video for 3x3 and 2x2. That's just for the sake that each video is going to be pretty long if I don't. These are going to take me probably around 10 minutes each. And then my square 2 I'll probably do individually, and maybe I'll do these ones in the same cut, just so we know how everything's broken down. I'm going to have a timer in the background that runs, and I'm just going to hit lap, and I'm going to hit start stop when I want to. The point of this isn't to just go as fast as I possibly can, it's just kind of to do everything in a row, kind of marathon style, and we'll see how it goes. So additionally, I'm going to give myself some inspection time before I start each one, and I'm going to keep the timer going the whole time as a lapse, but I'm going to start, stop it, and then hit lap as well. So, alright, let's get started with these Curvy Copter Plus. Alright, so first step here is just returning the Curvy Copter Plus to a cube, which is one of the more complicated steps because pieces jut out at really random angles. It's actually a really difficult cube to scramble. I don't know if you noticed when I scrambled it took me a bit, because in order to get a good scramble for it, you have to do what you call jumbling it, and then you have to misplace some of the centers at weird angles, and then it makes getting it back into a cube a whole ordeal. So Alright, so then after I get it back into a cube here, I solve the green side first. Maybe I'll make a video on curvy copters or something. I think they're pretty interesting, but solving the green side first, and then solving the second layer per se, and then the last layer is when a lot of this comes in because you have to rotate the corners and whatnot. But yeah, there's a whole different method to solving curvy copter than 3x3, and I find it to be a really interesting cube. I would have included my curvy copter if I knew where it was, but yeah, I couldn't find it, so. So overall, the time ends up being about 8 minutes 46 seconds, which is actually faster than what I assumed. I assumed about 10 to 15 minutes is how long it would take, so ahead of schedule. So you can see in the beginning here why this cube's called the Hedgehog. It looks a lot like, I don't know, I think because it's blue, it looks like Sonic the Hedgehog, but it looks very messy and spiky. So this is one of those cubes that looks really nasty, and we'll see more of that when we look at the Ghost Cube, actually. But all this really is a 3x3 mod. So it's you solve it the same way as a 3x3, but you have to match up shapes instead of matching up the colors. And it's kind of something that you have to know ahead of time what the shapes look like when they match up and whatnot. But we're just building it layer by layer here. So a common theme, if you notice carefully for this one, is I actually struggle a lot with the last layer. I don't know what it is about the last layer on shape mods. It's mostly the same as a 3x3, but I always seem to get tripped up by it. It happens on this one. It's going to happen on the Master Morphix. It's going to happen on the Mega Minx, so I have to do that multiple times. And I definitely hurt all my times, but that's what you get for not practicing some of these regularly. So this one ended up taking me 6 minutes, 19 seconds overall, which I was kind of surprised by. I think the Ghost Cube actually took me longer and I have more experience with it. But I estimated about 10 minutes, so even more ahead of schedule now. Alright, so this is the Ghost Cube. This is the one that I use if I ever want to scare somebody, because when it's scrambled it looks so messy and nasty. And like I said about the Hedgehog earlier, it's actually just a 3x3 shape mod. But it does take a lot of other experience to solve. And but yeah, I've actually got a pretty good amount of experience with it. It looks really super gross when it's mixed up. The turning on it gets really confusing if you're not experienced with it, but I think it's a really cool one to have and a fun one to do. So as I mentioned earlier, I fumbled the last layer here, which was expected because the shape mods always give me problems. But I think we ended up with a time of 6 minutes 14 seconds on this one, and I was expecting 9 minutes. So so far I'm just being too hard on myself, I guess. Alright, so this is yet another 3x3 shape mod, the Master Morphix. I've gotten this one pretty recently. I did a video about it, unboxing with it, and I think it's a really interesting one to solve. It definitely is one of the starter ones I'd recommend if you're getting into shape mods, because it's a pretty good shape mod. It's a little bit forgiving. Again, the last layer just gave me so much trouble. I refuse to look up how to do the last layer. I keep trying to do it like a 3x3, and I mean, I always get it eventually, but I probably should have done it. I probably should have looked into it before this, because I messed up the last layer pretty bad on this one, and it makes my time quite a bit longer than I would have expected it to be. And I guessed I would take about 7 minutes here. I took 7 minutes 14 seconds, so not as good as I wanted, but not too bad either. And as for the easiest shape mod on this list, this is the Fisher Cube. It has the colors on it, which makes it pretty easy. You just gotta match up the shapes of the pointed tips. It's kind of strange because the edges look like corners a bit, and the corners look like edges somewhat, because it's just kind of rotated 90 degrees around. And I actually cooked on this one pretty good. I think I said 4 minutes that it would take me, and I did it in 2:44, so pretty good start overall. So this is the mirror cube, or mirror blocks, as they're sometimes called, and this one actually looks really interesting. I always describe it kind of like art. It looks a lot like art, modern art or something, like a sculpture you might see. But it resembles the Ghost Cube a lot, and I think it's a really good cube to learn about tracing when we're matching shapes rather than colors, so you can trace down a layer to see if that's the spot it would go into, and I'll probably talk about it more in some kind of guide for one of these cubes in the future, but Ghost Cube's a really good intro in order to shape mods, 3x3 shape mods. I don't think the last layer gave me too many problems. I'm a little more experienced with this one, but anyways, I think my time was, I guessed 5 minutes, and it takes me about 3:34, so overall pretty good. And here's the Mega Minx. Mega Minx is probably one of the next steps up after 3x3, because there's literally basically nothing new to learn about it. It's all the same mechanisms you use to solve a 3x3. You just have to do it over and over and over again. And this one's tough for me because you have to go, there's 12 different colors on the thing, so you gotta go find all these colors, and I never really end up doing it because it's just a long grind, and it's part of the reason I don't do like bigger cubes like 5x5, 6x6, and whatnot, because finding pieces and whatnot is just not my forte. I prefer to do like shape mods and whatnot, because I think those are a lot cooler in the end. But yeah, this thing just takes absolute days, and you'll see I fumbled the last layer quite bad. I definitely need to go back and look at last layer stuff for all of this. I mean, it's all the same stuff. I just refuse to review it for some reason, so It's honestly embarrassing how many times I screw up the top layer here just getting not a cross, but a star on the top because it's got 5 sides. But yeah, it's embarrassing. I had to literally do it probably like 8 times to get it right, and it slowed down things a lot. And yeah, there's no way that I was overestimating myself on this one because my time ends up being 9 minutes 12 seconds, and I was expecting more like 7 minutes. So rough solve for sure. Definitely slowed down the whole thing. So the 4x4 is actually one of my most favorite kind of normal cube challenges. I enjoy doing it much more than anything like 2x2 or anything like that. But reduction method here, again, it's finding a lot of pieces, and it's definitely why I don't like anything that's bigger than it, because finding pieces for me is like enough already on a 4x4 that doing it any bigger is just too much for me. So you will see right here, I screwed up that center slice, and this is because I got a corner parity. So that's another reason why 4x4 can be a tad tedious, is because you have long algorithms there. Expected it to take me 5 minutes, did it in 3:34, so again, pretty good time overall. Here's the 3x3. Originally, I was going to play this in normal speed, but then I saw how slow I was. If I was the fast cuber instead of the casual cuber, maybe I'd be fast at 3x3, but I'm absolutely not. There's so many people that are better at it than me, and that's okay, so. Ended up with a time of 1 minute 3 seconds overall. I guessed 1 minute, so at least I know myself pretty well, but I'm definitely not fast on this one. So I accidentally screwed up when I recorded my original 2x2 take. So this was done after, because I stopped. So I stopped it at the end of the 3x3 one. It's whatever, but it's unfortunate because my original solve was about 17 seconds, and this one was 30 seconds. So I'm gonna use this one just because I have it on camera. But yeah. At least my prediction was pretty close. I said 30 seconds, and I ended up with 30.15. So right on the money with that one. So this is a square 2. It's the same thing as a square 1, but each of the corners is cut in half, so you can really do a 180 slice turn on any axis, which is actually really interesting. So basically, you're just building up the corners, and then you're solving it like a square 1. I really like this thing just because I like square 1 a lot, so I find this one pretty fun. I'd be interested in getting faster at it. It's just the hardware is not really up to speed. It's a little bit rough, but I got this newer one recently, and this one's actually pretty cool. So I screwed up my filming similarly to my 2x2 with the square one, but this time I actually got better, so that's nice. I got around 32 seconds here, which is overall pretty good for me. I usually average like 30 to 40 seconds, but if you're interested in square one, I definitely recommend looking up some people that are really good at square one that solve it in like 6 or 7 seconds. It looks really amazing with the slice moves. So I mentioned before, this thing is kind of just for fun. It's just a reduced version of the square one where the corners are bandaged to each of the edges. So it's always pretty quick, but it's a fun little one to do. So overall, the time was 52 minutes, 46.8 seconds. So pretty good, less than I expected at a 64-minute mark. Alright, so that's everything I did. That's 13 puzzles there, and I will say that that was it was pretty exhausting, but it was pretty fun. Like, I honestly thought it was going to be over an hour, so pretty cool overall. I think it was a good challenge, and I'm excited to do some more in the future, maybe. Thanks for watching.